Hey, hello, Vineyard. Happy Wednesday. I hope your week is rolling along well. Now, you know that I typically am pretty content with whatever weather we are having on a given day. So I'm going to point my opening comments in another direction and just mention that I am loving the new life that's starting to show. The leaves on the trees, all the green that's starting to come out. Montana in springtime is pretty awesome. But also awesome are the offerings we have for the summer small groups. The signups for these groups are active. These are the groups that'll meet June through August. And signups are live on the website. You can head over there, check them out, and see what you might want to connect with this summer. Now, a few more updates. The first is our last OG potluck before the summer break is going to be on May 21st. So, the OGs are our group of folks that are west of 60 years old. They meet once a month for lunch after we worship together. And so, if you're in that zone, check them out on May 21st after we gather for worship for some good food and also to hear about what's happening with the OGs through the summertime. Now, finally, the celebration of our Advent of Pentecost, the thing that we're pointing towards, we will have a night of worship at Thirsty Street Brewing Company on May 28th at 7 p.m. Thirsty Street is located at the corner of First Avenue North and North 22nd Street in downtown Billings. So put May 28th on your calendar for our night of worship that's going to start at 7 p.m. So as we move towards that day of celebration, the day that the Holy Spirit indwelled the believers and began the age of the church, we're using our Sunday mornings to look at what the activity of the Holy Spirit does and what it creates in the local church, what God is up to and what he's moving us towards. This activity of the Holy Spirit moves the body of believers out of chaos and towards order together as we learn to relate to each other from what Phil Kennison in his book Life on the Vine calls directed otherness or other directedness. On Sunday, Brad made a great illustration of how easy it is to operate as the center of the world, and how from where we stand, all the things that are in our field of view give us the perspective of us being at the center. But the work of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit that dwells within us, helps us to recognize the love of God, that we can see the love become an expression of how we engage the world around us. One way we do that with directed otherness is to be present with people as they are on their journey. So, to feel this in action, I'd encourage you to consider what we do each Sunday morning as a part of our time together. We always end with a time of ministry, a time of prayer for each other that invites the Holy Spirit to make the presence and activity of God known in a more intimate way. This ministry time is Vineyard DNA. This roots us to the history of our movement from back when the movement began with John Wimber and all of the folks that really started what we know as the Vineyard. This is something we do together, but also something that we ask God for the courage to do in the time between the Sundays when we go back out into the world. Our closing call and response that launches us into that time is a prayer, a request for God to help us engage with his mission in the world that we know between the Sunday gatherings. So what's my point with all that? We are adventing Pentecost, and as we advent Pentecost, we can examine the work of the Spirit. We have the opportunity to renew our participation with the ministry of the Holy Spirit, to activate our faith through getting prayer, and then taking that activation into the places we're going in the time between the Sundays. So this week, I'd encourage you to consider where would the encouragement of the Holy Spirit be helpful for you? And then in that area, receive prayer. Armed then with the awareness of the Holy Spirit that dwells within you, we can launch in the time between the Sundays and then do the stuff that Jesus did. So, Vineyard, have a great week. Please pray for me and know that I am praying for you, and I will see you on Sunday.